Yo, welcome into the show. This is Philadelphia 76ers Now by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. Hope all of your weeks are going in a very good way. And we have a great show coming your way on today's show. Coming up, should the Sixers bring back Danny Green? He's looking to make a comeback, and he's not calling it quits on his NBA career. And also, Bleacher Report handing out their grades for all 30 NBA teams. How do they grade what Philadelphia's done up to this point during this offseason? First, let's take a look at our sub-battle here with all of the other NBA channels at Chat Sports. Philadelphia 76ers now having a record month of July since I launched this channel back during the summer of 2021. And this is pretty awesome because we're in elite company. We have some of the most watched NBA channels on YouTube. And here at the company, Philadelphia 76ers now picking up the second most subscribers since the calendar flipped to July 1st. With this video, we can overtake Golden State Warriors today. I know we can, so hit that sub button for daily and year-round coverage of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Sixers. Could Philadelphia bring back Danny Green? That is story number one. Let's get into it here. He revealed that he is not officially retired, and he is hoping to play again, and he said that in a recent interview. Here's the quote. "I would love to come back if I had the opportunity. I have not officially retired. There's free agency going on right now, and my phone lines are open." Unfortunately for Danny Green, when Joel Embiid fell into his knee a couple of years ago, it was a bad injury for him, and he hasn't really been able to recover from that. And this is a player who has had a really impressive career as far as being a member on championship teams. Toronto Raptors, before that the San Antonio Spurs, Los Angeles Lakers. And when he came to Philadelphia, you're thinking, is he going to be that veteran player who can kind of get this culture in the right direction? He certainly was a pivotal member of that Sixers culture, which was a little bit better as compared to years prior. The question, of course, is Danny Green is 37 years old. What does he have left? The Sixers did release him after the James Harden trade. If you remember, he started the season with the Sixers last year, has not been picked up by another team after that. Now, after he suffered that knee injury with Philadelphia, he did play sparingly with the Cleveland Cavaliers. In 2023-2024, only 2 games played. In 2022-2023, only 11 games played. He could be of some interest to the Sixers because he's a veteran, he can defend a little bit, he can shoot, and what I mentioned, he's pretty good at adding to the Sixers culture here, in which they're trying to continue to evolve within this organization. His last full season coming back in 2021-2022 with Philadelphia, he played 62 games that year, and he gave Glenn Rivers nearly 22 minutes per night, averaged a tick under 6 points per game. Not going to do much outside of shooting the three, so you don't have to worry much about the field goal percentage, but the three-point numbers, pretty solid, 38%, and occasionally he would go off. He tore his ACL during the 2022 playoffs when Joel Embiid kind of fell into his knee. That's a big body to fall into his knee. And then he was traded for DeAnthony Melton in a move that I thought was a really good move by Daryl Morey because he got rid of an injured player to bring in DeAnthony Melton, who was a much better player and obviously more impactful than Danny Green would have been because of that injury. So, Chip, it's an interesting player to talk about. Would you bring him back considering he's a vet, he can shoot the three, he can defend a little bit, adds to the Sixers culture, and they have 3 roster spots available currently?
Yeah, look, I love Danny Green. I think he played very well for the Sixers in his time here, and he has, again, a very storied career, but look, at this point, he's 37, hasn't been able to come back really since that major knee injury, which was, again, a very, very brutal injury. I just don't think he really has it anymore. There's a reason he did not get picked up after he was released by the Sixers. He was kind of hoping maybe they'd be able to bring him back in, and because he had that house in Philadelphia, he wanted to stay local.
Yep.
And I think that's why that makes this interesting is because he has said before he wants to stay in Philadelphia because he has a house there, he's been here, and his career here. But look, I just think when you're filling out this roster, I know it's vetman guys, and a lot of these guys that you're picking up now aren't going to have much of a role regardless. But I just think there's guys that are younger, healthier, can contribute more at this point than Danny Green. Maybe he can come on as a coach. I like his culture fit here and what he could bring to some of the young guys, but using up a roster spot on Danny Green, I'm not so sure. I think there's better options out there.
Credit to him. He's a guy who understood the city. He understood the fan base, and I think that he enjoyed playing in Philadelphia. He was one of the players that kind of relished the experience and the opportunity to play for a historic organization that does have a tough fan base. With that, we pop up today's poll question. Should the Sixers sign Danny Green? He's open to continue playing. Should the Sixers be in for a reunion? S for sign, P for pass. Let us know down in the comment section. Coming up next, Bleacher Report handing out their grades for all NBA teams, including the Sixers. How did they grade what Philadelphia's been able to do? I will give you an A grade if you hit that subscribe button right now, because this is your one-stop shop, for all things Sixers news, rumors, analysis, and much more. All of our content, we aim for it to be as entertaining, insightful, informative as possible, and we love involving you, the Sixers fan. As you can see with these figures here to my right, we are approaching 20,000 subscribers. Help us get there for the legend, Eric Snow, who rocked the number 20. Now Jared McCain. All right, Bleacher Report giving out their offseason grades, and it's not a surprise to me to see BR giving Philadelphia an A grade. That's what I would give Daryl Morey. He got his star. He got a backup center behind Joel Embiid. He brought back Kelly Oubre, Kyle Lowry, Eric Gordon on some vet minimum contracts. The notable offseason moves for Philadelphia, the additions to the left, subtractions to the right. That's why it's put in green and red. Producer Chip just crushing it right now. Paul George, Andre Drummond, Eric Gordon, Caleb Martin, Jared McCain, the needle movers as far as the additions for Daryl Morey and company this offseason. And then some of the subtractions. Tobias Harris, goodbye Mr. Crumble Cookie. Nick Batum, Buddy Hield, DeAnthony Melton, and B-Ball Paul. Here's the write-up from Bleacher Report on what the Sixers accomplished. The run of A's continues with Philadelphia, who entered this offseason with a boatload of cap space and emerged with the best gettable forward on the market in Paul George, a re-signed Tyrese Maxey, and a beefed-up supporting cast that fills well around those two and Joel Embiid. The biggest move is the addition of Paul George, who's perhaps the most malleable star talent in the league. That's a good sign. With this high-volume three-point shooting, ability to punish closeouts, and willingness to defend multiple positions, he's a near-perfect fit between Philadelphia's franchise point guard in Maxey and their big in Embiid. But most of the less heralded moves make plenty of sense, too. Eric Gordon's willingness and ability to space the floor from well beyond the three-point line should open things up for interior threats. Caleb Martin's versatility on both ends of the floor makes him an easy addition to most lineups. And Andre Drummond is a starting caliber center, backing up a big man who often needs to miss games. A roster overhaul this complete comes with risks to chemistry and continuity, but in terms of raw talent in and out, Philly nailed this summer. Now, they did establish, or at least they are going to have, I think, a little bit of continuity because you have Maxey Embiid, Oubre, Kyle Lowry is back, and I think that's really important, but Nick Nurse is going to have his hands full. There's no doubt about that, with trying to put the pieces in right positions and trying to maximize players and having all of these new parts and trying to figure out a way for Paul George to fit in. Now, I do agree with Bleacher Report in saying that Paul George is malleable, but it's still going to be a tall test and tall tasks for Nick Nurse. That's why he's paid the big bucks, and that's going to be his role, Chip, as the head coach of this team this year.
Yeah, and look, an A grade doesn't surprise me at all here from Bleacher Report. Obviously, getting Paul George is a big part of that, especially when if you asked people 6 months ago, a year ago, people thought Paul George was going to stay in LA. They didn't think he'd leave. So just getting him to leave LA, come to Philly, obviously the biggest addition of the offseason, but I think the main reason they get an A and it rises to that ranks is, as I mentioned, those role player additions on the outside, being able to get an Andre Drummond, who might be the best backup center in basketball, to get an Eric Gordon to space the floor, to get a Caleb Martin at a steal of a contract when he could have got way more from Miami, but he comes to Philadelphia. All the surrounding moves, when you think of teams with big threes, typically, it's those top three and then nothing. Like the Suns. Booker, KD, Beal, and then nothing. The Sixers have some talent outside of those, and I think they drafted very well as well. So an A, not surprising to me, should be much better than last year, especially come postseason time if everybody stays healthy. So, look, a great offseason for the Sixers, and hopefully they can translate that into a successful season and postseason run, hopefully, this season.
Yeah, other teams getting A's too, by the way. Philadelphia, not the only team receiving that A grade. You're looking at the Boston Celtics. They basically brought back everybody from that championship team last year. The Brooklyn Nets don't really understand that one. Dallas Mavericks, I really like what they did, as well as the New York Knicks. Oklahoma City Thunder. Isaiah Hartenstein's really going to help them. Orlando Magic got KCP. The Sacramento Kings bringing in DeMar DeRozan. And then the San Antonio Spurs bringing in a vet to help out Victor Wembanyama. So grade the 76ers offseason. A, B, C, D, or F. Bleacher Report going with the A grade. What say you? Our third reminder to hit that subscribe button. If you haven't done so yet, do it right now. I promise you, you will not regret it.